But what is happening in that transaction between two people, a perpetrator and a person who is being perpetrated against? The men in these contexts are actually offloading all of their own human, existential, spiritual, psychological, and emotional pain, misery, suffering, shame, guilt, self-loathing, fear, resentment, anger, rage, hopelessness, alienation, powerlessness onto another human being. They're actually divesting themselves of all their own internal, emotional, spiritual, and psychological pain and anguish by evacuating it into another human being who has no choice but to receive it because she has been rendered powerless, because she has been rendered subjugated, because she has been rendered dehumanized, because her subjectivity has been completely eradicated. These women and children that we're speaking of become the repositories for men's pent-up, toxic, spiritual, emotional, and psychological anguish and perversion. Sex in this context becomes so much more than just a physical interaction. It actually becomes a vehicle for the grotesque deformation of another human being. And that is before we even get into talking about the sadistic forms of perpetration, the desecration of innocence, enacting a person's humanity only to cruelly destroy it. You know, at Exodus Cry, we work mostly with victims of sadistic perpetration, and we never talk about it publicly. Publicly, what we talk about are the general forms of perpetration and abuse, but mostly what we work with is sadistic forms, because it is so disturbing to begin to talk about that level of abuse and the consequent wounding that occurs in the lives who have suffered this intense injustice. The second area of wounding that happens to our sisters who are exploited in the commercial sex industry is in relationship to the complicity of a culture that hides behind the narrative of the commercial sex industry that she is just a hoe who wants this, likes this, and is making money off of this. Society would rather hide behind this cover narrative than deal with its own shame in sending large segments of the population into sexual slavery around the globe. Society would rather disown its own shame